Hello and welcome to our English news edition broadcast to you from Canal, Algérie. First, to the headlines. 1 year after the devastating fires in Tizi Ouzou province, life returned to normal and a commemoration is held on the occasion. The Islamic Solidarity Games officially kicks off in Turkey with the participation of Prime Minister Ayman bin Abdurrahman, representing the President of the Republic. More Palestinians fell martyrs following the Zionist aggression carried out by the occupation forces amid a strong international condemnation after breaching the truce announced in Gaza. And we shed light on a pioneering experience of teaching English in public spaces in Oran province. Good evening, those were today's headlines. First, in our news, the governor of Tizi Ouzou province, accompanied by a delegation, went to the village of Ikhlijan in Tizi Ouzou on the occasion of the commemoration of the forest fires which took place last year. Life returned to normal thanks to the state's great efforts. Sabrin Taferganit has the details.
Here in Akhlijan, one of Larbani Theratan's villages, life is back to normal in Agulmim, with the return of its inhabitants after months of medical and psychological treatments inside and outside the country, who were hit by last summer wildfires. Hope is back despite the immense damage. I would like to thank the President for making his promise a reality. He sent us to receive treatment abroad. We stayed there for 11 months. Everything is well taken care of. We came back to visit our loved ones, and we will return there in 3 months to accomplish the medical care. Then we will get back to our normal life. Thanks for your visit. I would like to thank the President as well, who was up to his commitments. He transferred us abroad to receive the necessary treatment. Ikhlijan remembers today its victims by observing a 1-minute silence. We had the chance to visit the families of the young people who received medical care in Turkey. And here as well, the situation is better. The Algerian authorities deployed all the necessary efforts for that.
تحسنت بكثير الحمد لله. الدولة الجزائرية ما ادخرت أي جهد بها تقف هذه الوقفة هذه.
After studying the different cases, people affected by fires like farmers were compensated. My 150 hives were burnt. They compensated me the same quantity. Thanks God. We hope to restart our activities. They encouraged us and we are working. Hope returned to Larbani Thiratan villages. Life is gradually getting to normal with better expectations thanks to the state's continuous follow-up and constant care.
In a different context and as a representative of the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, Prime Minister Ayman bin Abdurrahman took part on Tuesday in the opening ceremony of the 5th edition of the Islamic Solidarity Games being held in Konya, Turkey. Upon his arrival, the Prime Minister was received at the airport by the Turkish Minister of Youth and Sport, Muhammed Kashapoglu, in the presence of the Minister of Youth and Sports, Abdelrazak Sebgag. The Algerian ambassador to Turkey, Sofiane Mimouni, was present as well. The Islamic Solidarity Games officially kicked off in the Turkish city of Konya. Algeria will be represented by 140 athletes, including 36 female athletes taking part in the 12 disciplines. In the opening day, Algeria snatched 2 bronze medals, the first in the 400 meters hurdles and the second in the hammer throw competition. On her Twitter account, the Ethiopian President Sahle-Work Zewde wrote that the Algerian Liberation War, a historical moment for the liberation of the African peoples from the colonial yoke. The president then added that our peoples share a fierce resistance to colonialism and the sacred values of freedom, independence, and patriotism, added the president, who expressed her gratitude to the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, for the warm welcome she received during the closing ceremony of the Mediterranean Games held in Oran province. On a visit to Colombia, the president of the National People's Assembly, Brahim Boughali, met with his Colombian counterpart, Roy Barreras, with whom he discussed ways to strengthen the relations and expertise exchange between the two parliaments. Boughali also met with the president of the Andean Parliament and member of the Colombian Senate, Gloria Flores, whereas the day before he met with the Colombian Minister of Foreign Affairs and Peace, Alvaro Leiva. It is worth recalling that Brahim Boughali represented the President of the Republic in Bogota in the swearing-in ceremony of the new Colombian president. And as a representative of the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, the Foreign Affairs Minister and National Community settled abroad, Ramdan Al-Amamra, arrived on Tuesday in Baku, Azerbaijan, for a two-day working visit. The head of the Algerian diplomacy will hold discussions with his Azerbaijani counterpart, Jihon Piramov. Al-Amamra will also meet senior officials to discuss bilateral relations in addition to the regional and international issues of common interest. It is worth recalling that Azerbaijan chairs currently the presidency of the non-aligned movement until the end of 2023, in addition to being a member of the OPEC Plus, and takes part in the Forum of the gas exporting countries. In another development, new aggressions took place in the occupied Palestinian territories. 4 Palestinians were killed by the Zionist forces in Nablus, located in the occupied West Bank, and dozens were injured following a raid that took place right after the deadly attacks, which killed 46 Palestinians. More insight with Sabrin Tafrganit.
4 people were killed and dozens injured in a raid conducted by the Zionist occupying forces in Nablus, located in the occupied West Bank. This inhuman attack took place 2 days only after the ceasefire in Gaza. The previous deadly bombardments claimed 46 Palestinian lives, including 16 children, and 400 people were injured, all over the 3 days attacks carried out by the Zionist army. The very next day after the ceasefire, Gaza's people were mourning their martyrs. This Monday, a 9-year-old girl, Hanin Qaida, died of her wounds. In Beit Hanun, 11 hours of battling for life, the innocent girl passed away due to severe leg injury. These violent attacks prove once again that the Zionist occupier is targeting defenseless civilians, as well as vital infrastructures such as schools, homes and factories. These were severely destructed by the Zionist aggression. The situation in Gaza Strip is alarming, suffering from an inhuman blockade since 2007, imposing by that the absence of medicine, basic products and much more, while several countries closely linked with the Zionist entity remain indifferent towards these horrendous crimes perpetrated by the occupier in the Palestinian territories.
And the normalization of relations between the Makhzen regime and the Zionist entity is highly denounced by the Moroccans. A sit-in was held on Monday in front of the parliament against the agreements, which constitute a betrayal to the Palestinian cause. Ines Killu has the details.
The Zionist aggressions against the Palestinians have only strengthened the will of the Moroccan people, who are more determined than ever to refuse normalization with the Zionist entity, a people determined to make their voice heard against a regime that seems to be deaf to all its calls. The popular discontent is gaining ground in Morocco. Hundreds of Moroccans organized a sit-in on Monday in front of the parliament to denounce these agreements of shame with the Zionist entity, undermining the dignity of an entire people. Faced with a Mahsen ready to do anything to preserve its interests, Moroccans continue to express their anger. Several sit-ins are continuing in all cities against a regime that has allied itself with one that leads the war against Palestinians. The Moroccan people loudly proclaim their indignation in support of the Palestinian cause as a national one and firmly reject the military, security and intelligence alliance with the Zionist entity.
And the situation in Morocco is still deteriorating. For months now, the demonstrators took over the streets by the organization of daily protests denouncing their social, economic, and even socio-professional lives. More details with Ines Kilo.
Exceeded by social injustice, the decline in purchasing power, and the extreme poverty, Moroccans are determined to continue the struggle against the shameful acts of the Mahsen regime. For months, they have not given up and continue to take to the streets to denounce the inability of their government to respond to the concerns of their citizens and even to their most vital needs. The so-called resigned government held responsible for the social and economic implosion of the country. The protesters are calling for a radical change. Popular discontent continues to grow, now sparing no sector, according to several Moroccan politicians. The Mahsen has pushed the political field into decadence. The Moroccan people are showing a strong determination. Moroccans are going through an unprecedented economic and social crisis, which leads to the deterioration of all layers of society, and protest movements are gaining ground.
And to wrap up our today's edition with English, a language which is gaining ground in Algeria, where young people are more interested in learning it. A pioneering experience based on speaking skills in public spaces has emerged in Oran province to the great delight of English lovers. Let's discover more in this concise story by Ines Kilo.
Practice makes perfect. This new technique adopted by a teacher of English in Oran province to help people learn this important foreign language.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Speaking Spot. I'm very glad to be here with you guys, and today is a special day because we will talk about a very important subject.
This group meets at least twice a week to discuss several current topics with the aim of practicing English and improving the level of the attendees who have to cope with the situation.
نشجع كاع الشباب باش يتعلموا the English language because it is very important and very efficient in
is Enes. English is the future and I love English.
This lofty initiative has to be promoted ahead of a new academic year, marked by introducing English in the primary school.
And with this, our today's news edition comes to a close. Thank you for tuning in.